Welcome to another edition of Housing Palava in my country. My name is Joyce Mosu. Our focus today is on environmental sanitation, call for revival of culture. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, faces a dire environmental sanitation crisis, threatening the health, well-being and economic development of its citizens. The country's rapid urbanization, population growth, and inadequate waste management infrastructure have led to rampant pollution, diseases, and environmental degradation. Historically, Nigerian cultures emphasized cleanliness, hygiene, and community responsibility. Traditional practices such as daily sweeping, waste disposal, and communal cleaning initiatives maintained a clean environment. However, the influence of modernization, urbanization, and cultural shift has led to the decline of these practices, replaced by a culture of disposability and neglect. A significant contributor is the erosion of traditional sanitation practices and cultural values that once promoted cleanliness and community pride. While some may feel unconcerned because they reside in estates and pay for cleanup services, sometimes delay in garbage evacuation can deface an environment. Housing Palava in my country crew asked some Abuja residents on how they maintain a squeaky clean environment.
To me, the environmental sanitation should not be revived. What I actually want the government to do is to sanitize the people, conscientize the people for the need for them to be clean the environment. In order to achieve that, I prefer they reintroduce sanitary inspectors. Sanitary inspectors should be going around and be checking people's, at least you will not go to somebody's compound, but the places that are open to the public, visible, anybody that doesn't keep his environment clean, you send him to court. That alone will be enough to awaken Nigerians. Nigerians are so scared of jail. Some families that if you go to jail, no matter the reason why you go to jail, you are an outcast. So to me, they should not reintroduce sanitation, the Saturday thing, but they should rather empower sanitary inspectors that will go around and check the exteriors of people's compounds. You don't enter anybody's compound, but the exterior, anywhere that is dirty, you serve him paper, you send him to court. Straight, that's my take on it.
When we were using this national environmental sanitation, it made almost everywhere clean. So for me, my suggestion would be let the government bring it back, because this thing was forcing a lot of people to be to be cleaning their environment. If not, when they break, people will just wake up and start going for their different businesses. But when you know that there is a law that says that you must clean your environment on that particular day, you wouldn't have any option than to stay back and clean your environment. That time we saw everywhere being clean, marketplaces, wherever people are doing their businesses or wherever they stay and do whatever thing they do.
Where I stay, somewhere in Yanya, you see people dropping garbages everywhere because nobody to control them. And I believe there is something we call environmental protection board in Abuja, but I feel the manpower is not enough to go round. So if you go to especially the satellite towns, you only see probably within the city center that is needed. If you go to the satellite towns, if you see what they are doing, and by dropping garbages anywhere, I want to make example for where I stay. You see, sometimes once it's rainy season, they drop the bags of garbage inside the rain, thinking it should flow along, and it ends up blocking the drainages, by so doing destroying the road. But if there is this thing, if it's revival, because once it is being done, there are monitoring teams that go around to see if you are really doing the needful, as government stated. So I think the government should do everything within their coffers to make sure they bring it back. It helps to clean our environment very, very neat.
No, I don't agree, because it's going to shut down some businesses and people's freedom of movement. I mean, individuals should take time to take care of their environment. We don't have to make it a national issue or time-bound, that at a certain period of time people should not move around. People may have appointments that are important, and then they will not be able to go out. So I don't subscribe to that. It's not necessary. And I think the problem we have in Nigeria is the problem of weak institutions. Because if the institutions are working, people will keep their premises clean. If they don't, you come around, you serve them notice, serve them papers. And there was a time in my estate that we have to bring in Abuja Environmental Protection Board. and with their mobile court, they prosecute people who refuse to buy waste bin. And some people were angry with us and all that, but they did the right thing. Some people were burning the waste instead of, packaging it for proper disposal. And the order has to stop.
On Saturday, if I didn't go to work, I will tidy the whole area because it's good to keep your environment very clean. Because if it's dirty, it might likely attract some diseases. Actually, in those days, they used to do environmental on Saturdays so that people will have time, those if you didn't go to work, to clean your environment very clean. It is good to do it. Since that time that they stopped, you could see that the environment is not as tidy as when it was like before. So if they bring it back, I think it will do us good.
Then I keep my environment clean by sweeping, dusting everywhere, at least every day, removing the waste bin from the house so it will not be smelling. Then I think government should bring back their sanitation day, like Saturdays. Maybe they do it last Saturdays of the month. It really helps because to make people to be eager to do one or two things in the house at a particular day. Because now people are so relaxed when it comes to last day of the month, like Saturday of the month. They don't do anything in the house anymore. Some leave their house littered. But when government bring it back, it will help people. They know that this particular day is for cleaning the environment, their house, their toilets, their drainage. So it really helps.
We need it in Nigeria. We need it. You know why? People in Nigeria don't want things to go normal. Government must enforce it. Sometimes somebody will not even sweep where it stays or where it works, or the gutter in front of your house. Some people will not even touch it until government said, this whole day, this thing must be done. If you don't keep your environment clean, we're going to seal your house, seal your office, seal your shop. Then you discover that people now stand on their feet to do the right thing. People don't want to do the right thing. Government enforces the environmental sanitation program the way we've been doing it before.
When the city is getting too loud, you need a home. Home is love, peace, and tranquility. Home is Housing TV Africa. Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
Moving on, we explore some instances where the lost environmental sanitation culture made the news in 2024. Earlier in the year, the Lagos State government launched Clean Lagos initiative to revive sanitation culture. This was on the 20th of February 2024. The campaign's thrust was to promote a culture of cleanliness and sanitation among residents, including a social media campaign and community outreach programs. In Kano State, the government embraces traditional sanitation practices to tackle waste management. There was an exercise on the 15th of March. It was reported that the Kano State government partnered with traditional leaders to promote traditional sanitation practices, including the use of local materials for waste management and community-led cleaning initiatives. Similarly, on the 22nd of April, there was an outreach in this regard. Themed, the Nigerian youth developed innovative solutions to tackle sanitation crisis. A group of Nigerian youths developed innovative solutions to tackle the sanitation crisis, including a mobile app for waste collection and a low-cost toilet designed for rural areas. In another development, Nigerian government launched National Sanitation Policy to revive the culture of cleanliness on the 10th of May. It was aimed at promoting a culture of cleanliness and sanitation among Nigerians, including the development of guidelines for waste management and sanitation infrastructure. Thereafter, in June, a community-led sanitation initiative in Rivers State resulted in significant improvements in waste management and sanitation, with residents taking ownership of cleaning initiatives and promoting a culture of cleanliness. In July 2024, a sanitation expert called for the revival of traditional sanitation practices, citing examples of how these practices have been effective in addressing sanitation challenges in other African countries. And more recently, sometimes in August 2024, residents of Abuja expressed frustration over poor sanitation in the city, calling for a revival of the culture of cleanliness and sanitation among residents. These instances demonstrate the growing recognition of the importance of reviving environmental sanitation culture in Nigeria, with various stakeholders working together to promote a culture of cleanliness and sanitation. So we ask, what is the reason for the lack of implementation? Maybe an expert's view will shed more light on this palaver. Hopefully, we will understand the impact of poor environmental sanitation in the country and the implications of not actively reviving the environmental sanitation culture and its effects in the housing sector. Stay with us.
I want to begin by saying that one of the major impacts of poor environmental culture is that it magnifies a lot of public health concerns. The spread of infectious diseases in Nigeria is traceable to poor environmental culture. We don't maintain our waterways, we don't maintain our landfills, we don't have proper waste collection and disposal systems. They are not fully protected. So it's a major concern. You have infectious diseases like cholera. You have other diseases that spread routinely, seasonally, during rainy season and dry season, which are as a direct consequence of poor environmental culture. Nigeria can use different approaches. In some countries, the environmental control system is restricted to paid workers. But those paid workers can be monitored by government. This is common in the European country. In communal countries or communist countries, sometimes environmental issues are done collectively by the community. In Nigeria, we also adopt that approach in the past. Under the military regimes, communities were mandated to have environmental day for cleaning up our environments, which were usually scheduled for Saturdays between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. But because the world is in the 21st century, if government would not be limited to that approach, government has to recruit community health workers that will help in efficient waste removal and disposal systems. How many incinerators do we have? How many landfills do we have? How many waste disposal buckets do we have? Some of these things are way ahead of the budget of most houses in Nigeria. If you want to buy an environmental disposable container now that is easily movable, it will cost you hundreds of thousands. Government can decide to provide this for every housing unit, like it's obtainable in other countries. So government has to look at this issue. And then the monitoring, because some places have health workers who are tasked with disposing waste, but they don't do it because there's no monitoring. And that is why when government say people should pay taxes, they won't pay taxes. Because you pay local government tax, you pay social tax, but you don't see it in the life of people. So these are major concerns. Apart from some of the major towns, streets, and major cities in Nigeria, like Maitama, VI, many of our streets are not having proper waste disposal companies who are tasked with removing those waste. Then other countries have even gone ahead to have containers are for recyclable waste. I learned Lagos State government is trying to do that. It's common. Where you put biodegradable waste that can be recycled for other purposes like generation of biogas and bioenergy and biofuel. Where you have containers where if you eat leftover food is disposed. Then things that should be incinerated are sent to the landmines or that can be recycled like plastic are sent to the recycling plants. How many states in Nigeria have more than one recycling plants? There are some states in Nigeria that don't have recycling plants. There are some states in Nigeria that don't have working incinerator. They only have landfills, waste landfills, and even those waste landfills are not run professionally by well-trained sanitation workers. So we have a lot to do as a country. And what are the long-term impact of not having these? You have diseases that were not homegrown, they become homegrown. They become what they call endemic. They become used to you. You have hospitals having cases of repeated infection of a particular infection, either airborne or waterborne diseases, because our culture is poor. So first and foremost, government has to look at every housing unit in Nigeria should have a waste disposal container provided courtesy of government. There are special grants that Nigerian government have access to. World Health, Department of International Development, DFID, USAID, they provide funding for some of these things. Where are those funds? Government has to locate those funds. If they were released to a leader and he has mismanaged them, we need to correct that now. Some of those funds are for waste disposal. The Nigerian government has to look at it. So it's not a question of is it in the budget or not in the budget. Some of these things are funded by international organizations. They provide funding. Currently, the international organizations are funding maternal health care, child care, to make our hospitals safe. Where are those funds? If they are trapped under central bank, Nigerian government has to release them. If there are organizations that have those funds, Nigerian government has to release them. If we've not applied, we apply. Then we now factor in the budget. And now when it's factored in the budget, one minister and one PAMSEC will consume that whole money. Nigeria cannot be the Nigeria of yesterday. This is a time for change.
We don't have road, and you see at times if it is raining, you will see a lot of people will go by the roadside. There will be throw dirt on the main road. We also doesn't have toilet. You will see a toilet, you will still have to 30 tenants, they are using one. You can't leave your door open, go and buy something. Before you will know, Babambola will enter. By the time you will take them to police station, 1 hour is too much, the police people will release them. In fact, we don't know what is happening.
Your plot, your concerns, your issues related to housing, livelihood and social development. This is why we've established Housing TV Africa. Keep a date with us on Star Times and DSTV 24/7. Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
Welcome back. Grateful for that insight and analysis. Poor environmental sanitation culture has far-reaching consequences, significantly affecting the housing sector in Nigeria. The lack of proper waste management, inadequate sanitation infrastructure, and neglect of hygiene practices have severe implications. Research has shown that poor sanitation decreases property values, making it challenging to attract buyers or renters. Also, frequent repairs and replacement of damaged infrastructure due to poor sanitation decreases maintenance costs. Inadequate waste management and sanitation compromises housing quality, leading to unhealthy living conditions. So, reviving Nigerian sanitation culture demands a multifaceted approach involving government, community leaders, and individuals. By reclaiming traditional practices, fostering community ownership, and promoting education, Nigeria can mitigate its environmental sanitation crisis, ensuring a healthier and more sustainable future for its citizens. Also, by addressing poor environmental sanitation culture, the housing sector can improve housing quality, reduce health risk, and promote economic growth. If you've just joined us, this is Housing Palava in my country, reaching you from our studios in the Federal Capital Territory, Housing TV Africa. Next is Inspire, where we amplify the can-do-it spirit with regards to owning your own house. Come with us, see artisans making giant strides to become landlords.
So for the handwork, it's not easy to be a man. If I'm counting the year now, counting like 35 years, be on this work. And I thank God for my life. And I have my own personal house, I have my children at school, feeding my family and my relative. To build the house is not easy. Just get the land first. A day, 2 block, 3 block. That's how I'm moving up, putting the roof, getting there. It's not a day, but it's 2 naira, 1 naira, 1 kobo. We are getting ready to put it. The day of money of 10 block, we'll put. The day of money of 20 block, we'll put it. The day of money of bag of cement. That's how we're pushing it one by one by one. It's not a day journey. It's not a year project. It's more than 3 or 4 years for a person can put in there. It's 3-bedroom flat with ball inside. 3-bedroom flat, and then not, no matter how the family issue will come, it's person you cut your coat. That's why they make a proverb that you lay in your bed in the afternoon. That's how you sleep in the night. That's how it be. Not that as the thing is coming, you have be a good boy, be a club guy, this and that. That is it. No wonder God is not blessed. His mind to do it, and then you pray to your God that to assist you, to be with you for that journey, because that journey is not easy. By the journey of that project, another thing will come out, but you have a mind, say, okay, this is what I want to do, that God will assist me to do it. Nobody don't have a mind to be that. It's God that builds us for person. As it's alone, you don't run your lower. If we are doing this work, we should not be thinking about the life, or because in handwork, we have our handwork have age limit. Get some stage that you reach now to carry a spanner will difficult you, and then it will be good to the people, your customer, and then because it's them that make you to be a landlord, not you on yourself. It's your customer, it's your people that mingle with it. That's why, and then you need to be honest and the straightforward person. Without straightforward, you can't get the house. Can't straightforward, can't get it. No matter how you are getting the money, you will go another way. The way it coming, that's how it go.
Moving on, let's get to your eyewitness reports. We've come to the end of the show today on Housing Palava in my country. Remember, we desire more likes, shares, and followership on all our social media profiles at Housing TV Africa. My name is Joyce Onwosu. See you next time, and do stay safe.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.